Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm EllAstrology, and in today's video I am going to tell you what are the turn-ons of the 12 zodiac signs. Each and every zodiac sign has their own specific preference when it comes to their sexual nature. I'd also just like to mention that what I'm about to list here can also be relevant to a Venus or a Mars placement. So let's say, for example, I am mentioning Taurus and Taurus's sexual nature. It can also be relevant to a person who, for example, has their Venus or their Mars in Taurus as well. In order to have a comprehensive understanding of what your sexual nature will be like, have a look at your sun sign, your Venus sign, as well as your Mars sign. So the first sign I am going to talk about is Aries. Aries people are usually very direct and very demanding in their approach. An Aries person knows exactly what they want, and they will likely tell you what it is that they want. Aries people do not really like it when you make the first move, and they want to be the one who is in control and in charge of exactly what is happening. Aries people love to experience sudden bursts of passion and desire in their love life. So if you're going to be boring and there's not going to be a lot of passion and desire flowing when you are interacting with each other, then the Aries is not really going to get turned on. With an Aries, you need to grab them and you need to show them the passion that you feel and how badly you want to be with them, and then they'll get really excited. Aries people are incredibly daring, so these are the people that would like to get down and dirty pretty much anywhere and anytime, even if it is inconvenient and even if it is best advised not to get down and dirty at that specific point in time. Aries people do not care if they get down and dirty in public and they get caught. They actually enjoy the thrill of this experience. The excitement that is associated with the danger that comes along with getting caught in the act actually excites an Aries. Aries is not a sign that likes to take things slow. They're also not a sign that likes to spend a lot of time on foreplay. Aries wants to kind of get down to the deed as soon as possible, and they kind of just want to get it done as quick as possible. Aries people do not actually like to have these long, intimate, caring, loving sexual experiences, and they prefer to kind of just get it done as quickly as possible. An Aries person usually has a lot of other things that they want to attend to and that they want to get done, and they do not like wasting a lot of their time on sex. Next up is Taurus. Taurus is an incredibly sensual sign. Taurus loves physical touch, and they can be somewhat of a slave to their physical desires. When you are involved with a Taurus lover, you will notice that this person is very sensual. They will be kissing you, they will be cuddling you, they will be touching you. They will likely be smelling you, tasting you, biting you, licking you. Taurus people love to show their affection through their senses. So when you're intimate with a Taurus person, you can expect this person to really please you with all their senses. Taurus people are generally very good with their mouth, and they do prefer to have sex in a more romantic setting. They do not like it when things are dirty, when things are messy, or when they're being rushed. A Taurus wants to set the mood for the experience. So they want to, for example, have candles lit. They want to have rose petals on the bed. They want to have a bottle of champagne on the nightstand. All these little romantic things really get them in the mood. Taurus people also really love sweets and desserts. So bringing sweets and desserts into the bedroom when you're getting intimate is a very good idea. Taurus people love whipped cream, they love chocolates, they love strawberries, anything like that. Bring in all the yummy things into the bedroom and you will see Taurus will absolutely love it. Because Taurus is the sign that rules over the 5 senses, this means that Taurus natives can somewhat be a slave to their senses in some cases. Many Taurus people can be rather promiscuous and incredibly sexual. Whether they publicly display their sexuality or not, it doesn't matter. Majority of the Taurus people that you will meet are incredibly sexual. And the reason for this is because Taurus is somewhat of a slave to their senses. Taurus people can't deny what their senses want. They cannot ignore their sensual cravings. So if a Taurus person has a craving to have sex, they will most likely make a plan to do this. Taurus is also the sign of overindulgence, and this causes a lot of Taurus people to overindulge in sexual activities quite often. Because they are so overindulgent in it, it can make it seem as if they are very promiscuous and sexual. Next up is Gemini. Because Gemini is a dual sign, a lot of Geminis tend to be bisexual, and they have an interest in both the male and the female genders. It is quite common for a lot of Geminis to keep their bisexuality a secret. But majority of people who have Sun, Venus, or Mars in Gemini do have some kind of bisexual tendency to them. Geminis do not mind getting down and dirty with more than one person at a time, and things such as threesomes can be quite interesting and enticing to them. A Gemini is also not the kind of person who will get jealous if their partner, for example, gets intimately involved with another person, as long as the Gemini has agreed to this in the beginning. Geminis do not mind sharing their partners, and Geminis also do not mind getting involved with more than one partner at a time in a lot of occasions. Gemini is an incredibly experimental and open-minded sign when it comes to the bedroom, and you can practically ask them to try anything and they will most likely not say no. Gemini is pretty much keen to try anything. Geminis get bored with their partners very, very quickly if there is not a lot of variety and excitement within the sex life. So it's very important that if you're involved with a Gemini, that you try new things and that you keep things exciting for them. If a Gemini does not get the sense of excitement that they want from their sexual experiences with you, they will most likely go find someone else who can give this excitement to them. Geminis love to talk about sex, and when they're also getting down and dirty, they love to be vocal and to talk dirty things. It is very important for a Gemini to be able to have a conversation with you and to establish a mental connection with you before they're actually able to get down and dirty with you. If a Gemini is not able to actually mentally connect with you, chances are they're not going to connect with you sexually either. Next is Cancer. Cancer people do need a sense of intimacy and a connection with a person before they're actually able to get turned on. If a Cancer person has not established a sense of intimacy or connection with a person, then chances are they're not going to be interested in having sex with that person. To get a Cancer to open up to you sexually, you do need to appreciate them, admire them, nurture them, and love them, and show them your affection. If they do not feel nurtured, appreciated, and admired by you initially, they're also not really going to feel comfortable opening up to you sexually. Cancer people are your hopeless romantics. These are people who need lots of kisses, lots of love, and lots of cuddles before they're actually able to get down and dirty. To a Cancer, it's more about love and affection than it is about the actual physical pleasure that they gain from having sex. So to a Cancer, it is very important that they establish a bond of love and connection with a person initially. Cancers are people who are incredibly good at serving you sexually, and they will do whatever it takes to make sure that you are happy and that you are satisfied, even if it means that they might not be happy and they might not be satisfied. To them, it's more about making their partner happy. It's not really about making themselves happy. Your typical Cancerian will likely prefer lots of foreplay, and they will prefer things to move rather slowly and intimately as opposed to fast and passionately. Cancer people love gentle, soft, slow sexual sessions. They do not want it to be fast, busy, and passionate. Anything that is too busy and too fast for them will make them feel uncomfortable. Cancer people love to play classical romantic music in the background while they're getting intimate with someone, and they'll most likely dim the lights or even light some scented candles to create a nice sensual mood. Your typical Cancer native also sees sex as quite a big deal. So it's not something that they take lightly. They won't just have casual hookups or hook up with anyone. To them, it's something that means a lot to them, and they need to feel some sort of connection with the person they're with in order to actually be able to be sexual. It is very rare to see a Cancerian involved in casual hookups or casual flings. Cancer is symbolized by the crab, and as you guys know, the crab loves to have its privacy. It loves to go into its own shell and hide. And just like this, Cancers prefer privacy and secrecy when it comes to their sex life. So Cancers don't like their sex life to be broadcasted to everyone. They don't want everyone to know exactly what it is they're doing. They prefer their love life to be more intimate and more secret. If a person is behaving overly provocative and overly sexual, this will likely put them off, as they believe that your sexuality should be kept private and it should be kept secret. It should not be displayed for everyone to see. Next up is Leo. Leos can be rather dramatic and showstoppers in the bedroom. By that, what I mean is they love to dress up and they love to dazzle you. They love to woo you. A Leo wants to feel like they are a movie star in the bedroom. Your typical Leo lover will most likely put on something very, very fancy and very, very sexy. They will likely play some seductive music and do some kind of seductive dance to really seduce you. It's very important for a Leo to feel wanted and desired by the person that they get involved with sexually. If they do not feel that this person wants them and desires them more than anything in this world, then they're not going to put in the effort that they want to make this the most incredible experience for this person that they will likely have in their entire life. Leos are incredibly sexual people, and it's very difficult to find this kind of level of sexual intensity in a person as what you find in a Leo. Also in a Scorpio, but right now we're talking about Leo. So your typical Leo wants their lovemaking or their sexual experience to be like a movie scene. So it has to literally be completely unreal and completely out of this world. Anything that is mundane, boring, and just basically like everything else, they will get very bored and they will likely not even enjoy that experience whatsoever. It is also important to woo a Leo initially. You have to wine them and you have to dine them. You have to show them how badly you want to be with them and how interested you are in them. If a Leo does not feel like you're chasing them, and if they don't feel like they're being chased, they will not be interested in becoming intimate with you. In order for a Leo to want to be sexual with a person, they have to feel like this person is chasing them, that this person is all over them. Leos are also incredibly proud, and they will not stand for their partners showing any kind of romantic or sexual interest in anyone else. If they do, they will most likely end the interaction or the relationship, and they will find someone who is solely sexually and romantically interested in only them. Your typical Leo is incredibly loud and vocal in the bedroom, and it is quite likely that the neighbors can hear them while they're doing the deed. So even though Leos want to feel chased and they want to feel admired by their partner or the object of their affection, they also really love to please the object of their affection as well. So they will go out of their way to make sure they make their partner happy and that they do not disappoint them in the bedroom. Next up is Virgo. Virgos can be quite full of nonsense when it comes to the bedroom, and they generally get put off by very small little things that you usually cannot control or that you cannot help. It can be very tricky to figure out what makes a Virgo tick when it comes to the bedroom, as they're not as open about what it is that they like when it comes to their sexual nature. Many people think Virgos do not like sex and that they're these virgin maidens that never ever want to get involved with anything sexual. However, this is not true. Virgos can be incredibly sexual. They can actually be more sexual than most of the other zodiac signs, but the thing is, they do not show their sexuality. They keep their sexuality completely hidden. A Virgo's sexuality will only be shown and presented to those they feel completely comfortable with showing their sexuality to. Figuring out how to get a Virgo to open up to you sexually can be very challenging. A Virgo will not want to get down and dirty when they still have work to complete and when they still have tasks, duties, and responsibilities they have to attend to. The only time a Virgo will really be able to relax and enjoy themselves sexually is when all their responsibilities have been dealt with. If there is anything on the back of their mind, it is impossible to get them turned on. Virgos generally do not enjoy casual sex, and they prefer to have one person they can be involved with sexually and that they can share their sexual wants and desires with. Even though a Virgo may seem like they do not enjoy being sexual, once they do find a person that they feel comfortable with and that they can open up to, they can be incredibly sexually active with that person. Just like Geminis, Virgo really love to talk about sex, and they can be rather vocal in the bedroom, and they love to have dirty conversations while they're getting down and dirty. And due to this specific reason, Virgo and Geminis are two signs that are very sexually compatible with each other. Virgo and Gemini knows exactly how to communicate their sexual needs to each other, and this works out very well. Your typical Virgo can be somewhat of a control freak, and due to this reason, they actually prefer it when their partner takes control in the bedroom and when they do not have to be in control of everything that happens. If you want a Virgo to really enjoy a sexual experience, do everything for them. Let them just lay down and enjoy themselves and you take charge. To a Virgo, their sexual experience is the only time that they will allow themselves to let go of control in their lives. So this is why they actually enjoy having a partner who prefers to take control in the bedroom. Virgo is the sign that represents service to humanity. So just like that, Virgos can be very serving towards their partners in bed, and they will always make sure that their partner is happy and satisfied. Virgos are usually very anxious people, and a Virgo won't just automatically be in the mood. You have to actually get them in the mood first by perhaps doing lots of foreplay or helping them deal with all their responsibilities so that they can just let loose and relax. Virgos will only get sexually involved with a person who is clean. So if you stink and you are dirty and you do not actually look after yourself physically, then a Virgo will never actually hook up with you. The same counts for their environment. A Virgo will never ever have sex in a dirty, messy environment, and things need to be clean and organized around them. Virgos also aren't really fans of drunk hookups or intoxicated hookups. So by that what I mean is you will likely not really catch a Virgo having a drunk one night stand with a person or something like that, because Virgos do not actually like having sex when they are intoxicated. Next up is Libra. Libra is the sign of love, and Libras automatically really love sex. Libras spend majority of their waking time admiring, appreciating, and loving the person they admire and the object of their affection. Libras can very easily have sex every single day and actually do it 2 to 3 times a day and not get tired of it. Libras have an incredibly high sex drive. Libras often get incredibly lonely when they are single and when they do not have somebody that they can be intimate with. It is very important for a Libra to have someone to be intimate with, or chances are they will allow themselves to just be intimate with anybody. Libras crave intimacy and connection so much that they're willing to do anything it takes to have that intimacy and connection, even if it means getting intimate with a person that's not good for them or who they should not get intimate with. However, on the other hand, when a Libra does find a person that they can connect with and be intimate with, that they truly love, that they truly admire and appreciate, they can be incredibly faithful to this person for the rest of their lives. But it is very important for a Libra to be able to feel that sense of partnership, that sense of belonging with another human being. It is very easy for a Libra to partner up with a person and only be intimate with that person for the rest of their lives. However, I have noticed this is more likely with female Libras than it is with male Libras. When male Libras become unhappy in their relationships, they can have wandering eyes, whereas female Libras, they tend to do what it takes to stick through the relationship and to make sure that it works. I'm not saying all male Libras have wandering eyes. However, if a male Libra is not happy in his relationship, there is a chance that his eyes may wander. I have noticed that when Libra men become unfaithful towards their partner, it's generally because they have turned hateful and resentful towards their partner. So in order to avoid a Libra man being unfaithful to you, just make sure that you always make him happy. Libras are very dedicated to their partners, and even though they love their partner, they can also build a sense of resentment and hate towards their partner if the relationship's not going well. So even if the relationship's not going well, they'll still stay with their partner because they feel a sense of responsibility towards them. When this happens, they will most likely be unfaithful, because when they feel a sense of responsibility towards their partner, but they're also resentful towards them, they're not actually connected to the partner the way they want to be. So a Libra can still go seek a connection elsewhere. Your typical Libra can also enjoy sex toys and things such as bondage. Just like Scorpios, Libras love to get dirty in the bedroom, and they love to try and experiment with dirty things. Next up is Scorpio. Scorpio is known as the most sexual zodiac sign, and the reason for this is because Scorpio is the sign that rules over the sexual organs. Sexual instinct and knowing what to do sexually just comes to a Scorpio very naturally. So it's not something they have to learn, it's not something they have to pick up from somebody else. It's just something that is instinctively part of them. Due to this, it is very, very difficult to find a person who can compare to the level of sexual intimacy and sexual intensity than what a Scorpio can give in a sexual experience. Scorpios are incredibly intimate people, and generally, a sexual experience with them can be somewhat of a life-changing experience. Now, even though a Scorpio is incredibly sexual, they do need some kind of emotional connection with the person that they get intimate with. A Scorpio is able to be their true self during a sexual experience more if they're able to actually get involved with the person they feel connected with. When a Scorpio hooks up with a person who they're not really connected with, they won't really enjoy the sexual experience that much. Your typical Scorpio is rather dominant when it comes to sex, and they do prefer a partner who is more submissive and more allowing to let the Scorpio take charge. Your typical Scorpio is also probably into very kinky taboo stuff. A lot of the stuff that they might want to try or experiment with in their sexual experiences can involve pain, and it can also possibly involve blood in some cases. Scorpios love to take sex and to take pain and to mix the two together and to make it one thing. I don't really know what this is all about, but it's a very Scorpionic thing. A Scorpio would also rather have a intense, deep, meaningful, out of this world sexual experience with someone instead of having a whole bunch of quickies with a person. If a sexual experience is just going to be a quick, meaningless interaction, a Scorpio would rather not do it, as they would prefer to experience a more life-changing, thrilling experience with the person they get intimately involved with. Scorpios are also very fond of a lot of eye contact during sex, and this can be quite intimidating if you're a Scorpio's partner and they're consistently staring into your eyes while you're doing the deed. The reason that they do this is because Scorpios are very good at reading people, and they use people's eyes to read their emotions. So Scorpio can tell in your eyes how much you're actually enjoying the experience. Next up is Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a sign that gets very bored with a mundane sexual life, and they need lots of variety and spontaneity in order to keep things exciting for them. Sagittarians love danger, and anything that possesses a sense of danger or a person that has a sense of danger will most likely turn them on. If a Sagittarius can see that a sexual experience is going to be dangerous for them, they likely want to do it. Danger tends to arouse Sagittarians. Now, a Sagittarius literally has absolutely no shame and absolutely no boundaries when it comes to sex. A Sagittarius will literally try anything. There is nothing that is too crazy and too outlandish for them to try. Due to this, a lot of people view Sagittarians as these incredibly promiscuous, sexually arrogant people. Sagittarius is basically scorpionic energy to the extreme, because Sagittarius is the sign that comes after Scorpio. So yes, a lot of people think Scorpio is this incredibly intense, extreme sexual sign, but actually Sagittarius takes that intensity and extremeness to a whole nother level. Now, the difference here is that Scorpios use sex as a way to connect with themselves as well as other people, whereas Sagittarians don't really see sexual experiences as a way to connect with people. They just see it as an experience itself that they can experience. To a Sagittarius, a sexual experience has not necessarily got anything to do with a connection with a person. It's more about the physical desire and the physical act that goes associated with it. Sagittarians can actually be much more sexual than what Scorpios are, but the difference here is that Scorpios are more private about their sexuality, whereas Sagittarians love to display their sexuality to the world. A lot of people can find the sexual nature of a Sagittarius to be a little bit overbearing because they do not really have boundaries. They do not identify when they've gone too far or when their behavior is too much. Intimate sex and intimate hookups is not necessarily a Sagittarius's favorite thing, and they do possess a sense of casualness when it comes to their sexuality. A lot of Sagittarians actually don't see sex as a big deal at all, because a lot of them actually do not emotionally connect with their sexuality and with sexual experiences as a whole. There is a lack of emotional investment in their sexual experiences. Sagittarians are incredibly good at being sexual. However, this is because they do not really allow things like thoughts and emotions to impact their performance. They kind of just do what they want to do and they do it. They don't really feel or think too much about it. Most Sagittarians have actually mastered the physical acts of sex. However, the emotional side of it is something they're not too connected with. Sagittarians also really enjoy risky hookups. So it is very likely that if you ask a Sagittarius to hook up in the bathroom at a friend's dinner party, they will most likely say yes. Any sexual experience that poses some kind of risk is something that they will be interested in. Next up is Capricorn. Capricorns are incredibly ambitious people. However, a lot of the times people underestimate them because their sense of ambition is usually hidden. Capricorn is the sign that doesn't really talk, they just do. So whereas most other people will be saying, I'm going to be accomplishing this, I'm going to be doing this, and they love to talk the talk but not walk the walk, Capricorn just walks the walk. They don't talk the talk. By that, what I mean is your typical Capricorn, you will not know what they're up to, what they're busy with, or what they're doing, but you will just see what they have accomplished, and you will just see the results of what they have been working on manifest. Capricorns don't usually tell you what they're doing, they actually just do it. Now, just like how Capricorns are incredibly ambitious, but they do not necessarily show this, so are Capricorns also very sexual, but they do not necessarily show their sexual side. To your typical Capricorn, casual sex is a very big no-no. To a Capricorn, everything in their life is quite serious, and similarly, sex is also a very serious topic to them, and it's not something that they take lightly. A Capricorn is not a person who will hook up or get intimately involved with just anyone. A Capricorn is incredibly selective, and they will only get intimately involved with a person who is likely successful and who has their life together. By that, what I mean is a Capricorn will not hook up with a person who is not ambitious, who's not focused, and who's not dedicated to achieving something in their life. A Capricorn only wants to hook up with a person who's ambitious, just like what they are. A Capricorn knows that you in essence become the person that you intimately involve yourself with. And if they're going to intimately involve themselves with people who do not have goals and ambitions in life, it's going to impact them as well. That is why they only want to involve themselves with people that they know will become something. Capricorns can be quite controlling and a little bit bossy in bed, and they will most likely tell you what it is they want you to do, and they probably won't let you take all of the control. They might make you feel or think that you're in control, but actually the Capricorn is the one who's in control. Capricorns are very clear and direct regarding what it is that they want, so a Capricorn will most likely tell you exactly what they want you to do for them, and they will expect you to do it. Capricorns get very put off by people who are all talk but no walk. So if you're going to tell a Capricorn that you're good in bed, or you're going to tell a Capricorn about all your sexual achievements, but when it comes to getting down and dirty, you don't know anything, this is actually going to really irritate them. So don't go and pretend that you're so sexually powerful and that you're so good in bed to a Capricorn, because they will see right through this. Instead of telling a Capricorn that you're good in bed, rather just show them. Because if you're going to tell them, they're not going to be interested. They want to see the results. They want to see what you're actually saying. A Capricorn doesn't believe words. A Capricorn believes action. A Capricorn very quickly gets put off and disappointed by a person who thinks that they're all that, but then they actually just end up disappointing the Capricorn at the end of the day. So don't be that person. Don't be that person who thinks they're all that, but you're actually just disappointing the Capricorn. The best way to woo a Capricorn is to just surprise them by showing them. If you do make any bold claims to a Capricorn, make sure that you can act out on these claims that you make, because otherwise you are just going to embarrass yourself. Next up is Aquarius. Your typical Aquarius has a rather unusual approach to their sexuality, and the way that they approach sex is incredibly eccentric and different. Your typical Aquarius will most likely get intimately involved with very strange people that you would never have thought they'd get intimately involved with before. Aquarians can be quite strange, and by that what I mean is you might never have thought that this person would get intimately involved with a specific person, but then they do end up getting involved with that person. Usually when they pair up with people, you look at them and you think to yourself, how did these two people end up together? Aquarians love going for very unconventional people, and they typically choose a partner who will create a sense of shock when people see them with their partner. The person an Aquarius usually chooses to get intimately involved with is a person who is entirely different from what they are. An Aquarius has an incredibly unconventional sex life, and the way they approach sex is entirely different to any other zodiac sign. It is actually very difficult to pinpoint what an Aquarius sexual nature will be like, because each and every one of them is so unconventional, that each and every one of them has their own unique way of approaching sex. Some might approach it with a more casual attitude. Some might approach it with a more intimate attitude. It doesn't matter which way they approach it. At the end of the day, the dynamic will be quite unusual. To an Aquarius, it's very important that their partner possesses an air of mystery. An Aquarius needs to be incredibly intrigued and interested in a person in order to actually be sexually attracted to them. If an Aquarius can sum you up and they can figure you out very easily, they're not going to want to get dirty with you. In order to ignite an Aquarian's passion and sense of sexual desire, you have to ignite a sense of mystery in their minds. The typical Aquarian really enjoys role-playing, so they can really act out crazy roles when they're intimate, and they can get very, very into it. Aquarians are also very, very good with having friends with benefits. So an Aquarian knows exactly how to keep a sexual interaction casual and cool, and to still maintain a friendship with a person while they're still sexually involved with that person. Aquarians are also able to be sexually involved with many people at once. However, they will not be romantically involved with these people, and it will mainly just be friendships where they do have these sexual interactions as well. And then last but not least, we have Pisces. Now, Pisces is a sign that generally does require quite a profound emotional and spiritual connection with their partner in order for them to be sexually involved with that person. However, the thing is, Pisces people can very easily be taken advantage of. Another person can very easily pretend that they are in love with a Pisces, or they can pretend to have this emotional connection with them, and very often the Pisces can believe them. Pisces people can very easily be deceived by people who tell them that they love them and they admire them and they want to be with them. Then the Pisces ends up giving everything that they are to this person, but this person actually just used them. So this happens a lot to Pisces people, where they'll fall in love with a person and they'll give their heart and their soul to a person who's actually just using them for their sexual benefits. However, this is obviously not always the case. However, it can happen with some Pisceans. Pisces sees sex as a very, very deep spiritual thing. So your typical Piscean can be quite into things such as tantric sex and Kama Sutra, and any kind of thing that involves taking the spiritual side of life and involving it with sex. That is something that Pisces will be all about. Your typical Piscean wants to make sex a spiritual experience. To a Pisces, it's not really about the physical joy and pleasure that they get out of it. They want to really connect with it in a spiritual way. Your typical Pisces will go out of their way to make their partner happy, and they will do whatever it takes. But also, on the other hand, they're very easy to please. A Pisces isn't very demanding. They like to go with the flow, and they like to just let their partner do what their partner wants to do. That is usually enough for them to be happy and to actually enjoy the experience. Many Pisces people can actually enjoy getting down and dirty in water. So Pisces can enjoy having sex in a hot tub, in a swimming pool, in the ocean, or even in the shower. Pisces people are also better suited with partners who are more open-minded and who are more keen and willing to try new things. Your more closed-minded, rigid, conservative kind of partners will not go well with a Pisces, because when a Pisces mentions things such as tantric sex, a more conservative-minded person might be intimidated, or they just might not want to get involved with this. Okay, so that is it for today's video. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel to see some more astrology and spirituality content. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this video, and please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Check the link to my Patreon below if you'd like to become a patron of mine and to see what that is all about. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.